Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Bold and the Beautiful B&B. Spoilers reveal that Hope Logan, Annika Noel, is back to work on her signature line at SC, Hope for the Future. The collection was cut by Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline Metzins Wood, after an ill-advised coup by Hope and Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor. But that's all water under the bridge now. HTF is back better than ever, with a new vision by a new designer. But is it really? Let's break down the unexpected reckoning that could be coming for HFTF Fonts Ridge Forrester. Thorsten K. reinstated Hope for the Future. Hope hired her newly minted design bro, Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn, to take over the design duties. Sounds like a dream come true, right? Vocal fans are trashing the new designs on socials, which could be a sign that the show's buyers will reject them as well. We've been treated to some of Dake's sketches, which underwhelmed many in the audience. To be fair, the show has promised a new emphasis on the show's core business, which is fashion, so things may get better in the future. But until then, Dake may need to consider some night school classes to catch up. In particular, B&B fans have scorched a pair of embellished suspenders shown last week, with one Redditor calling them simply bad. Another one snarked, "I think I wore that to a 9th grade dance once." Ouch, this is definitely not the vibe Dake wants to be giving under his urban fashion umbrella. The response at Forrester Creations hasn't been as drastic, but the newness of Dake's vision still needs to be tested in the outside world. Dake is skating on thin ice as it is. Last year, Hope for the Future's declining sales numbers were a concern, and FC borrowed from its fancier couture line to stabilize Hope's sales. Now his involvement with Remy Price, Christian Weissman, was a bombshell that SC did not see coming. If his ideas fail, where will he go next? Then again, maybe Remy can supply better designs that Dake then steals from him. Dake is desperate to launch his fashion career. Will he stoop to deception to get it done? Forrester Creations has seen scandals, sabotage, and fashion feuds that could make even the fiercest runway queen tremble, but no one expected this. As Hope for the Future teeters on yet another creative precipice, the next wave of chaos may come not from Hope, Thomas, or even Steffi, but from a dark horse with a hustler's instinct and a secret agenda, Deke Sharp. And the domino effect that follows? It could launch Remy into a crisis he never saw coming, tear HFTF apart, and expose one of the most shocking acts of fashion theft in soap history. This is the story of how a man dismissed as a criminal outsider may attempt the unthinkable, and how a rising designer becomes the target of the ultimate betrayal. Buckle up. Hope Logan thought this year at Forrester Creations would be smooth. After all, Thomas was out of the picture, the line was hers, and she was ready to reinvent HFTF with a fresh perspective and a more collaborative team. But fashion is fickle, and reviewers are ruthless. The early previews for the latest collection were not simply critical, they were brutal. While Hope herself is trying to shake off the sting of the failure, most of the blame publicly fell on Remy, the new Wondercan designer brought in to revitalize the line. Some said the looks were amateurish. Others labeled them confused. One blogger even described them as the kind of designs that should have stayed in the sketchbook. Hope defended Remy at first, but privately, she was nervous. Ridge was frustrated. Steffi was circling like a hawk eyeing its prey. And in the middle of the chaos, something unexpected happened. Deke overheard everything. Anyone who knows Deke knows he thrives on opportunity, legal or not. A struggling but determined man, wanting to prove himself, and forever carrying the shadow of his past, he sees every opening as a battlefield advantage. So when he overheard Ridge and Steffi discussing pulling Remy from the line and revamping HFTF before the press tears us apart, his ears perked up. Not because he cares about fashion. Not because he cares about Hope's line. Not even because he cares about Remy, but because he remembered one thing. Fashion equals money. Money equals influence. Influence equals freedom. The moment Steffi said the words, These designs are worthless, we can't use them. Dake's brain sparked with dangerous curiosity. Worthless to Steffi. Priceless to someone else. That's when the most outrageous idea began forming in his mind. An idea that could change everything. Meanwhile, Remy's confidence was in freefall. He locked himself in one of the design rooms late into the night, sketching until his fingers cramped, pacing until his legs trembled. Every cruel word from the reviewers echoed in his head. Unfocused. Try hard. Derivative. He could handle criticism. He grew up with it. But this was a humiliation broadcast across every fashion site in Los Angeles. Hope tried reassuring him, but her own panic flared between her words. Ridge was avoiding him altogether. Steffi sent him a thinly veiled threat disguised as constructive feedback. And then came the final blow. The leftover samples of his collection, the ones he had poured himself into, were dumped in the back room to be trashed. Not repurposed, not stored, thrashed. It was the cruelest symbolic rejection. And it shattered him. Remy left the building in tears, unaware that someone else had witnessed his devastation, someone who saw opportunity in the discarded scraps. The Forester dumpster area isn't glamorous, and neither is the idea of rummaging through it. But when Deke saw the bags stuffed with fabric samples, muslins, half-finished pieces, and Remy's original discarded sketches, something clicked. These weren't failed designs. They were unfinished designs, which means they could become something else. If someone bought them, a startup brand, a desperate influencer, a rival fashion house looking to poach talent, they could be spun into a new indie line. Something small. Something believable, something profitable. And as far as Deke was concerned, Remy wouldn't miss what the Foresters never valued. To him, it felt like the perfect crime. No one would blame him. No one would question where the designs came from. But this was more than a hustle. This was the spark of a quiet war brewing beneath the glossy Forester facade. Hope Logan may have a soft heart, but she is not blind. She noticed two things over the next 48 hours. He was more withdrawn than ever, barely speaking, barely sketching, and constantly looking behind him as if someone was watching him. His insecurity was ballooning to dangerous proportions. Not in the chaotic, impulsive way he usually did, but controlled, focused, calculating. He seemed to be lurking around the design offices more than usual, asking questions about the line, commenting on fabrics, listening in on conversations he normally wouldn't care about, and he kept checking his phone. Hope recognized the symptoms. Her father was planning something, but she had no idea how serious it was. The twist came late Friday night. Remy returned to Forester Creations after hours, hoping to gather some materials for a redesign. He was ready to prove himself, ready to fight back. But when he entered the loading area behind the building, he froze. There was Deke, his hands inside the bags of discarded HFTF designs, pulling out sketches, folding fabrics, stacking them neatly into a box. Remy felt the floor drop beneath him. "Deke," he whispered, his voice cracking. What are you doing?" Deke turned around slowly, caught, but not ashamed, not even fazed. Instead, he smiled. A slow, sly, calculating smile. "Kid, you weren't using this stuff. The Foresters threw it away. I'm just giving it a new home." Remy's heart slammed. "That's my work." Deke shrugged. "Sure. But no one wants it here. So why let it rot?" The tears burned Remy's eyes, but behind them, a flicker of something sharper, something like fury. "You can't steal my designs." "I'm not stealing," Deke said calmly. "I'm repurposing, and honestly, you should be thanking me." Remy stepped forward, trembling but determined. "No, give them back, right now." But Deke didn't budge. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was theft. Deliberate, premeditated, shameless theft. And Remy realized he was in a far bigger mess than he imagined. The next morning, Hope found Remy pacing anxiously in the showroom, visibly shaken. His confession came out in bursts. "Your father, he stole my designs. I saw him taking them, the ones you threw out." The ones I made for the line. Hope froze. At first, she thought Remy must be confused, overworked, emotional. But the panic in his eyes told a different story. He wasn't exaggerating, he wasn't overwhelmed. He was terrified. Hope had two choices: defend her father, or defend her designer. For the first time, she picked Remy. Hope marched straight to Il Giardino, where Deke was taking delivery of a suspiciously large box, the same kind used at Forrester. "Dad," she said sharply, "we need to talk." Deke tried playing innocent. "Pumpkin, it's early. Can we not? Did you steal Remy's designs?" Silence. A long, damning silence. Then Deke sighed. "Sweetheart, I helped him. He should be thanking me." Hope's heart cracked. "You stole from a designer at my line. From my company. From me. How could you do that?" Dake's gaze hardened. "Because you people don't appreciate him. You were going to toss everything. That wasn't your call to make." She was crying now, full angry tears. "If you sell those designs, my reputation is done. Remy's career is done. And you could go to prison." Dake swallowed. He hadn't thought of that part. And suddenly, the bravado began to crumble. "Hope, I wanted to help. And maybe make something for myself for once. I wasn't trying to hurt you." But the damage was done. And Hope made her position brutally clear. "You return everything. Every sketch. Every fabric. Every sample. Or I walk away from you completely." Deke realized his scheme wasn't clever, or harmless, or victimless. It was a disaster. When Hope returned the stolen items to Remy later that day, he broke down, from relief, from humiliation, from the overwhelming fear that his career had nearly been destroyed by someone else's crime. But Rich and Steffi didn't see it that way. To them, this was a scandal brewing. A scandal that could destroy Forrester Creations' credibility. Steffi was livid. "How did your father even get near these designs? Why was he in the building? Why was he anywhere near HITF? Hope, this is a violation." Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our BOLD and BUTI Fuel UPDATE YouTube channel for more update news.